guidelines. We want to let people know we are proud ATU members. Are we going to fight? Yeah. Are we going to fight? Yeah. Walk with me, brothers and sisters. What do we want? Contract. Yeah. Contract. Come on, Rick. Yeah. No contract. No peace. No contract. No peace. No contract. No peace. No contract. No peace.
Yeah, we're out doing an informational picket at 9 a.m. The Board of Directors of TriMet will be here at the Portland building. And we're here to send a strong message that TriMet is breaking the law. It's unacceptable. We have professional operators, mechanics, customer service, you name it, we're out here and we're letting them know they're breaking the law. January 31st is our first meeting with on the unfair labor practice. We believe we're going to win that. We're going to continue to put the pressure on. Every time the board is out, every time Mr. McFarland is out, he's going to see us and he's going to know that the backbone of this organization is about to fold. We have a major, serious crisis on our hands, and they need to wake up, smell the coffee. The board of directors needs to start taking control of this, because clearly McFarland doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know the law. He's been listening to stuff that's improper, and at the end of the day, they're going to lose. They're going to lose big time. Today, we're here meeting with the board of directors, and we're going to send a strong message to them where we're at and where this leadership at TriMet has gone. Past leadership at TriMet recognize the law. They recognize that under this contract that expired, we have received those areas. TriMet is getting bad information. They are breaking the law. We are now here to let the board know that the general manager has made the wrong call, and we need to get this corrected.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. TriMet is breaking the law.
Yes! TriMet is breaking the law!
TriMet is breaking the law. TriMet is breaking the law. TriMet is breaking the law.
TriMet put in their final offer to the arbitrator. It contained new items that they did not bargain over. That is an unfair labor practice, and therefore we filed that. Message to the board of directors of TriMet that Neil McFarland, the general manager, has made a bad mistake, and he continues to make bad mistakes. He needs to fix this. Before I get started, my son Jacob has come today to see what his father does. So he's skipping school, but I think it's an important lesson on how we are able to operate and continue to communicate in our community.
Jonathan, can we get started?
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, thank you for providing me the opportunity to address you. You may have already figured out why I and your employees are here today. If you think it's about the current contract dispute between TriMet and ATU, you would be correct. The contract dispute has reached a new level. It is a critical point for our members, both active and retired. It involves the unilateral action by TriMet to reduce health and welfare benefits without bargaining, and the long-term effect to our members by such action could prove devastating. TriMet's general manager, Neil McFarland, in a letter to the union dated September 27, 2010, wrote, "During the pendency of the arbitration, the ATU filed an unfair labor practice complaint against TriMet, alleging TriMet engaged in bad faith bargaining, by submitting new issues in its final offer. Mr. McFarland further wrote that TriMet learned that the health insurance premiums for the 2 bargaining unit plans will again increase substantially on January 1st, 2011. And unlike last time, TriMet has no intentions of picking up the additional health insurance cost and has no legal obligation to do so. McFarland also said that TriMet has no intention of providing additional cost of living and adjustments during the pendency of interest arbitration proceedings. And as a result, there will be no cost of living adjustments in December 2010. The problem with this position, the union contends, it clearly violates Oregon law. Making unilateral changes to the parties' contract while pending arbitration, when our contract requires status quo, is another violation of the law. During a meeting over the contract on October 21st, 2010, ATU757's financial secretary, Yvette Farah, asked Mr. McFarland if he would have initiated actions to change active and retired employees for insurance on January 1, 2011, and refused to give active employees their contractual wage increases scheduled for December 1st, 2010, if the union had not filed an unfair labor practice. Mr. McFarland's response was no. Retaliation for filing an unfair labor practice complaint in a contract dispute is yet another unfair labor practice and a violation of state law. The contract between TriMet and the union expired on November 30th, 2009. As the contract and a long-standing practice between the parties require TriMet to maintain the 100% premium coverage with rate increases effective January 1, 2010, and provide for the 6-month active employee wage increase on December 1, 2009, and on June 2010. What TriMet did is exactly what our contract required them to do. But now, the decision at TriMet has been made to violate the parties' agreement and to unilaterally make changes to our collective bargaining agreement before an arbitrator has issued the decision based on information provided by TriMet. We believe the attack on our insurance benefits, which has been promoted by the conservative think tanks and media with the encouragement of TriMet's communication department, is unwarranted and ill will conceived. The union and its members over the years bargained for more benefits and for less wages because we realized the importance of these benefits to our members, both active and retired. Now we are being expected to give these hard fought for benefits up because TriMet needs to balance the budget on our members' backs. We are not going to stand by and let this happen without a fight. The law requires that the transit contract dispute be settled by interest arbitration. The union and its members are abiding by the law, and we expect TriMet to do the same. Let the dispute make its way through the required process. And when a final and binding decision is made by the arbitrator, both sides will be bound by it. Perhaps TriMet's reason for waiting to circumvent the law is because they are required to make a full disclosure that they may be unable to support their claim of poverty and the need to pay for other projects on the backs of our members.
My own thoughts on this is that this is not the forum to negotiate a labor agreement.
Then get them back to the table. Yeah, back to the table.
Stop violating the law. Here's the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Also, I do think that TriMet is willing to go back to the bargaining table, is my understanding. So let's hope we get.
Why aren't they there? Why aren't they there?
My membership is upset. We've heard information about and rumors that we're going to strike, that we're going to do a sick out. And I got to tell you, I'm starting to believe that the rumors actually came from TriMet management.
Yes, they
As you can see in this room, there's a lot of our membership here. But you know what? It's only a small percentage of them. The rest of them out there are working really hard to make the system run. And we're going to continue to do that. But we ask you to do the same. When our operators break the law, they lose their job. If we can't get this resolved, we expect, no, we demand that somebody loses their job.
That's right.
Well, Mr. Chair, you mentioned that Mr. McFarland was ready to go back to the table. Is there any information that anybody would like to provide today? Because from my last correspondence, I never got a return phone call.
There's a little bit of a miscommunication, at least to the board, on the willingness of ATU to engage in negotiations. So I think that's probably an area. I'm not going to negotiate here.
I understand. Mr. Chairman, just to follow up though.
I will say that, no, John, I will say this. I'm certain that Neil and management staff are willing to negotiate. I believe they have an offer on the table that.
Mr. Chairman, they're implementing, that's not an offer. And as we bargain, we need to have them rescind so that that collective bargaining process can take place. And if we're unable to resolve that, the mechanism is already in place and it's moving forward to arbitration.
Jonathan, you're addressing the board first.
Yes,
You're addressing the board first. This will be resolved. And I do believe that TriMet is willing to negotiate.
Could you give me a date, time?
And also, I want to make it clear that if there's, we need to get your members the information they need about healthcare. I will pledge to work with management to do that.
Well, would you pledge that we should not have an open enrollment when people don't know the information? Would you agree that we should put the thing on hold until everybody's properly informed?
I agree that we should have the
This is a major effect on their livelihood.
I understand.
Retirees, January 1, will be faced with figures that they're not used to.
None of this is going to be resolved in this session today, but we do appreciate your position, and we also appreciate your willingness to come back to the table and negotiate in good faith.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman, and the board.
We have provided to the board a copy of the chronology of major events associated with the contract and our efforts to negotiate a settlement. I would just note that we remain anxious to negotiate a settlement with the ATU. We're anxious to do that at any time. We were at the table last Friday. There are preconditions that the ATU is seeking right now to that conversation that is making it not productive. That said, I'm anxious to sit down at any time and talk about that. And if that's not possible, then we would be very anxious to see a very quick and fair arbitration take place. And so our objective is to move to a settlement as quickly as we can. You know from your perspective that from a financial standpoint and from the stability of the organization and for all the other important things that the region calls upon TriMet to do, that's an important obligation for us to meet. And so we're very anxious to do that. And so that's my message to everybody here, is that we are anxious. We will be beginning with the open enrollment process this week. There'll be lots of information available. We'll have lots of people available.
Stop breaking the law.
And so we will move forward with this. But again, we're very anxious to get to the ultimate settlement. And we'll do that as quickly as we can.